ലൈറ്റ് ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ ചരിവില്ലല്ലോ. ചരിവ് ഓഫ് ചെയ്യണ
ഗുഡ് മോർണിംഗ് വൺ ആൻഡ് ഓൾ. നമ്മുടെ ഗസ്റ്റ് അല്പസമയത്തിനകം ഇവിടെ എത്തിച്ചേരും. എല്ലാവരും സൈലന്റ് ആയിരിക്കാൻ ശ്രമിക്കാം. താങ്ക് യു.
31%. പക്ഷെ ഇതിൽ 3 വട്ടം കാണിക്കണ്ടേ?
Good morning, one and all. Our guest has arrived. Let's raise and welcome them with loud round of applause. Today is the second day of our international conference. Today, let us begin the program by seeking the blessings of our Almighty God. Let's raise to start the prayer.
सर्वविद्या दायकं सच्चिदानन्द स्वरूपम् अक्षररूपन्नि निन्तिरुमुन्बिल सुप्रणामं सुप्रणामं विद्याश्रमं सर्वार्थसिद्धिरम् अध्यापनं सर्वधर्मान् प्रकृष्टम् विद्याश्रमं सर्वार्थसिद्धिरम् अध्यापनं सर्वधर्मान् प्रकृष्टम् तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ज्ञानतीर्थ प्रदायकं मुक्तिमार्ग प्रचोदकं सर्वविद्या सागरं निन्मुन्बिल सुप्रणामं सुप्रणामं सुप्रणामम्
I invite Ms. Rosemin Biju to I invite Ms. Rosemin Biju to address the welcome address and also to introduce the resource persons to one and all of us.
A warm good morning to one and all present here. First of all, I welcome all of you to the second day of our international conference on empowering every learner, bridging gaps with inclusive education and assistive technology. And it is my pleasure to introduce our resource person for the day, Dr. Hani Babu, who has graciously accepted our invitation to join us today. Dr. Hani Babu is currently working as Assistant Professor in Education at GVM's Dr. Dadavaidya College of Education, Goa. She has completed her PhD and MEd in Education along with additional degrees of MA Psychology and MSc Botany and so on. She was awarded ICSSR Doctoral Fellowship for the year 2016-17 and has also provided many valuable contributions in the field of education through her paper publications and many dates. She is going to talk to us about the topic Redefining Abilities, the power of assistive technology for better accessibility and inclusion. This is a subject in which we should all be interested because it is going to be the most treasured tool in this information era. Without further delay, please join me in welcoming Dr. Hani Babu to the stage. Welcome, ma'am. And we also have our principal ma'am here lending her kind and supportive and encouraging hands with us. So welcome, ma'am. Now let's hear what our resource person of this day have to share with us.
A very good morning to all. ഇന്നലത്തെ ഒരു ദിവസത്തെ കോൺഫറൻസ് കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ എല്ലാവർക്കും ക്ഷീണായ ഇല്ല സ്റ്റിൽ എനർജറ്റിക് റൈറ്റ് എവ്രി വൺ ഓക്കെ സോ യെസ്റ്റർഡേ ഐ തിങ്ക് വിനാര സർ ഗേവ് ആൻ ഇലാബറേറ്റ് ടോക്ക് അബൌട്ട് ഇൻക്ലൂസീവ് എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ യു ഓൾ അണ്ടർസ്റ്റുഡ് വാട്ട് ഈസ് ഇൻക്ലൂസീവ് എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ റൈറ്റ് അവർ ഗവൺമെൻറ് ഈസ് സ്ട്രൈവിംഗ് ഫോർ ദ ഇൻക്ലൂസീവ് എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ and taking a lot of initiatives for the inclusive education. So it's as your prayer song told. നിങ്ങളുടെ prayer songൽ ഒരു വരി ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു അധ്യാപനം സർവ്വതനാൽ. So we have to understand that meaning and we have to be equipped with each and everything which help us to be a professionalized teacher, right? Do you want to be a normal teacher or a professionalized teacher who is very much effective, efficient, who master all the skills? Which one you prefer? Yeah. So inclusive education is also one step which is towards that. Okay? So here in this today's session, we are going to just understand and make ourselves aware about what all those things help us to bridge the gap between the different type of constraints which make us not to realize the reality of inclusive education, or which is just making a barrier from achieving the objective of inclusion. Clear? So what is this bridging gap? Why we have to bridge the gap? So you understood there is a gap, right? What can be that gap? Or what can be that reason for the gap? Okay, I'm not making you confused. I just want to know how many of you completed the second term of internship? All of you. There are first years who had visited the school, understood the nature of the school, taken a few classes. No, there is no first years. Only second. Only first years are there. Both. Okay. So all of you understood, went for the school, you got the experience of the classroom, how is it, how the teachers are, how the students are, what all issues are there to be faced by a teacher. You experienced it, right? Is the teaching job very easy? Is it very easy? I have heard when years before, not now, years before, I have heard one comment which is passed by the usual people. Like, if it is a teaching profession, it is good for women. If it is a banking profession, that is also good. Because it is all suitable for the females. You will get 2 months of vacation. You will get all the holidays. You can enjoy everything. And there is a particular time period. You don't have any extra duties. You have to just go to the school. 1 year, if you prepare the lecture note, then till the retirement you can use it. So when you visited for the schools, is it the same scenario now currently existing in the schools? It is a tough time period now, right? You have to master a lot of things. You have to equip yourself with a lot of skills. You have to get updated. You have to learn, unlearn and relearn, right? Today you learn one technology. It won't exist for, or it won't help you for not more than 1 month. Within 1 month you found that this technology is not suiting to my things. I have to just switch to some other thing because it has been updated, because the advanced things has come up, right? So you have completely unlearned whatever you have learned before, right? And you are relearning something new. Right? So, is the teaching job easy? No. It has lot of challenges now, lot of issues which we have to face in every day, which we have to equip ourselves. Right? Inclusive education is also one among that. The challenge which is faced by the teachers of current schools. Earlier, when I was doing my B.Ed and all, we had a small special education school visit which was conducted by the school coordinators, institution coordinators. So when we visited that special school, we found that there were a lot of children who had a lot of challenges, who had a lot of issues to learn and to do their day-to-day life activities. At that time, we didn't felt like this is an area which will be going to affect a normal teacher who is going to a normal school for teaching. I don't want to use the term normal because there is no normal now. The thing is, we are facing a time period where those children who had different abilities nowadays are admitted to the schools, and there the teachers have to handle those children in the classroom where everyone are treated equally. If you as a teacher is giving a exam, the other student who have the different ability also have to be put for the exam, but not in the same way, in a different way, which is suitable for him or her. So this is the challenge. Is it a challenge for the teacher? When our students return from the internship program, I just asked them, what is the feedback from the schools? How do you feel during the internship? How did you face the children? They told, ma'am, they are so naughty. Children are naughty. Children are like that. They are smart enough to understand before the teacher think what the teacher is going to do. Right? Now you also understood when you went for the internship, right? How smarter they are. Are they naughty? No, they are smarter. They are smarter than us. Right? Very much smarter. Before you take a chart out and show something to the student about the learning concept, the student will tell, this is the same chart which is used by this other teacher. We know that. Right? This type of comments also we have heard many times, right? So they are very smart. And from your uniform only they will understand that you people are internship trainees. They can do anything. They can do anything naughty in the class, right? Do they listen to you? No. This is not the scenario once you are into the profession. When you change that trainee, teacher trainee tag, and when you become the normal actual teacher, and when you enter the classroom, everything changes. Right? You also would have experienced that when you are trying to manage the students, making the students, requesting the students to listen to you, they are not ready to listen. By the time they see the face of their classroom teacher, everything fine. Right? So that what is the difference? Because they can understand that what is the difference between a teacher trainee and the actual permanent teacher who is there in the classroom to deal them. Right? But do you feel like the classroom teacher who is teaching the students for years, they have a very good, easy job, easy time? No. They are also facing this tough time, right? So, when I asked my internship students, they told little bit things. One thing what they have told was like, ma'am, we have seen that there are a few students who was not able to even read the text in our classroom. And this is a scenario of 8th standard. They can't read properly. If you give the English comprehension, they can't read. In our place, it is Konkani language. So if you give the Konkani textbook also, they can't read. But they are talking, they can communicate well. But the problem is when you come to reading and writing, it is not proper. And what they told us, I again asked one more question. Do you feel what is the issue or why they have been like that? What can be the reason for that? Then they gave me a nice answer. Nothing but, ma'am, it is only because of the teachers who handled them in the lower standards. They didn't engage them properly. They didn't took the extra effort to make the child learn these things. That is the reason. Do you agree with that? That is the reason. If you don't agree, then what can be the reason? Anyone? What can be the real reason that the child was not able to read and write properly, which is up to the grade? In the 8th standard, we expect some type of abilities, and that ability is not with the child. The performance of the child is not up to the abilities expected to the age. Pre-promotion. Maybe the reason pre-promotion till 8th standard. So you feel like that even if the student is not completed with the expected amount of performance for that particular grade, they are promoted to the next grade without any constraints, right? So is that reason? Okay, we can consider that one reason. Then what can be other?
In the initial stages, if the parents are not supporting the child in the teaching activities or learning activities, maybe it may be a reason due to the negligence of the parents.
So second reason is like the negligence or the less interested parents in making the child to get educated. All the parents want the particular or their child to be the best, right? This is the one side of the story. The other side also I will tell you. There are certain parents who don't want to put any extra burden on the children. They don't want the child to give any extra activities. Why my child should do all these activities? Only this much is required. That type of mentality is also there in certain parents, certain community of parents nowadays. So that also we can consider. They don't want their child to take extra burden or extra effort. They want their child to just get pampered and nurtured, right? And they want the best grades from the child. That is also there, right? So all these are the different issues. And the other thing is, do we have the same infrastructure facilities in all schools? No, not in all schools. And I'm not talking just based on the scenario which exists in Kerala. Here we have the best schools with the best infrastructures. But when you take a all India scenario, this is not the state. There are differences in the infrastructure facilities which is provided for each school. There are different schools which has to really struggle for the children to get educated in a proper, clean room and the learning environment to be set in a well required manner. It's there, still existing. But there are the teachers who put the extra effort to make all the possibilities to make each learner in front of them the best. Right? There will be there. But the thing is, if a teacher is taking an extra effort and doing all this for the child and making the child the best learner, what all things they have to sacrifice? They may have to sacrifice their quality time, the quality time which they want to spend it with their family, right? They may have to face a lot of comments from different people asking them that why you have to put the extra effort. The other teacher from the other class is not doing that. Why you want to stay again 1 hour after the school hours for the child? Only are you doing this? Why? So we have to face a lot of why questions, right? Why you? And I have seen, and this is a usually the pattern which is seen all over among the teachers, that when you join for the profession for the first year, how many hours you spend to write the lesson plan? Ma'am, please don't ask us. We don't have even sleep properly these days, right? When you join for the period, you have to sacrifice your sleep first. We still remember the days which we have learned the beard. It is like that. Whatever you people are learning in the 2 years, we have completed the entire thing in 1 year. Will it be more packed? Sure, right? Now you people are more relaxed because you are getting 2 years to complete and learn everything with the proper way. Complete the activities in a very good manner. And even the internship, during the internship you are learning a lot of things. Whatever theories you have learned from the classroom, you are practicing it in the schools and you are learning it, you are experiencing it, right? So that time period is given for 2 years. The internship time period is also extended because the government and the authorities want you to get molded as the best teachers. So the sacrifices are there. So I want to underline about the sacrifices and the extra effort which a teacher has to completely commit towards the students, because nowadays we cannot expect all these children in our classroom to be as same abilities, to be with same abilities. There will be the children who have different type of abilities. Some will be doing the same task but in a different way. You have to accept it. Don't think in front of the children like when you give an instruction about an activity or when you give an instruction about a task, all the students will submit the same in the same way. You cannot expect the same. When I tell about the same submission, I want to tell about that also. Before a few days, I was just having a conversation with one of my friend, and that friend asked me, she is not a teacher, and she asked me one question, why you teachers are giving assignment for the children? What can be the reason? What is the purpose of giving the assignment? At the end of the lesson plan, you will write homework. Right? What is the purpose of that? What do you expect from that? Ma'am, it is a work that is to be completed by the child at home with the help of someone else. Right? So what is the purpose of giving an assignment for a child? And how the child complete this assignment? Have you ever thought the same? I will explain it with a simple topic. If you ask the child to complete an assignment of something related with photosynthesis, a simple topic. how the child, or if you ask the child to draw a diagram based on photosynthesis, you have to explain everything related with the photosynthesis and draw a diagram. This is a homework which you have given. After reaching home, what will be the first attempt by the child? What will be the first attempt?
First, searching in the mobile.
Of course, they will search in the mobile. Do you feel like our brain is completely given or completely depending on the Google Chrome? Right? Our children are also doing the same thing. And they will bring, the next day, they will bring and submit the assignment. And if you keep the 50 assignment in a row, all these assignments will be exact Google, Chrome or browser copies. Right? Everything which is available online, that online images will be cut, copy, paste, even drawn or taken a printout and done the completed assignments that will be ready in front of you. Could you find any one student who have taken an effort to visit the library of the school or to see any of the extra materials available and submit that assignment? Could you see anyone? No. Should we assess such type of assignments? Or are we molding them just to cut, copy, paste? So this I have experienced from the question of this friend, because she shared me one experience from her own child. That is nothing but her school where she is sending her child. They asked, there was a science exhibition or something which was going on. They asked the children to bring a project or a model whichever you want or whichever you are interested. Prepare a model or a project which you are interested and submit the same. The thing was, when parents were invited for that exhibition, she found that that entire project was only of the students till the 5th standard. So till the 5th standard means we can expect what is the level of the child, what all things the child can do by their own. But there were the projects which like IIT Madras has submitted with complete electrical circuits, with complete the things which are highly phenomenal concepts, scientific concepts, and they have prepared very large projects and the children are trying hardly to explain the same. And there was her child's project, which was a small one. He just did a small experiment using the earlier when we were doing the schooling, we have learned how when you just make a shadow or put a shadow on the leaf and keep it in the sunlight, after some days, where you cover the leaf, it will appear in a different way. And if it is kept in without the covering, the entire leaf will be of the same color. So there is a difference in the photosynthesis which is happening when you cover the leaf on that area and which is not covered. So he did a simple experiment and he explained the same. And he didn't grab any prize. And all the evaluators evaluated, and the first prize was given to some other children who did a very great job with a very good, very great project, advanced stage with all the electrical circuits, etc. And personally, when she met that child who grabbed the prize, she asked, "Who did it for you?" അതെൻ്റെ വീടിൻ്റെ തൊട്ടടുത്ത ചേട്ടനുണ്ട്, അയൽക്കാരൻ ചേട്ടൻ IIT പഠിച്ചിരുന്നത്, ചേട്ടൻ ചെയ്തതാണ്. Where is our reputation as a teacher? What is the ethics which we are providing the children? I don't agree with that. Do you agree? Do you agree? No. If not, next time onwards, when a child is submitting the assignment, ask them. Just ask them, how did you do that? Where did you find the resources? How did you learn that thing? നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എവിടുന്നാണ് ഇതിനെക്കുറിച്ചുള്ള അറിവ് കിട്ടിയത്? നിങ്ങൾ എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഇത് ചെയ്തത്? എത്രത്തോളം എഫേർട്ട് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എടുക്കേണ്ട വന്നു? ആരൊക്കെ നിങ്ങളെ ഹെൽപ്പ് ചെയ്തു? എന്തിനൊക്കെ വേണ്ടി? There will be certain time where the parents has to give some extended hands. ഒന്ന് ചോദിക്കുക. It will really help to evaluate the child. What is the stage of the child? Otherwise, as one of our students told, we will simply promote the child from one level to the next grade, not understanding what is the performance level which is attained by the child. We will simply promote them. Do you agree with that? Is it fruitful? No. At certain point of time, the child will be struggling and they feel like this is not to be done by me. It is not able to be done by me, and they will be in a pathetic condition where they can't go forward. Then comes all sort of psychological issues like depression, stress, etc. Whom actually to be claimed? Right? So you as a teacher should raise a voice against the same, telling that this is not allowed in my classroom. You can browse the Google or you can browse for your resources, but don't exactly copy the same and submit it without any effort from your side. There should be some effort. There should be some creativity. And a teacher should be evaluating that creativity. Okay? So, what I want to tell you is, your classroom is not equal. When I asked you a few questions, certain things, certain people were agreeing, certain people were disagreeing. That means in this community of this much students or a gathering, we have the different people with different agreements and disagreements. The same thing is in the classroom also. You give one instruction, just one instruction in the class to draw an elephant. Just you give an instruction that all of you take a pen and paper and draw an elephant. Will all the elephants which is drawn by the students will appear same? No. If it is not same, how we can evaluate it in a same manner? You told the same instruction. You didn't give the different instruction for different students. The instruction was same, right? Some will draw the elephant which appear in the festival. പൂരത്തിന് ആനേനെ കാണുന്ന പോലത്തെ ചിലർ അത് വരയ്ക്കും. ചിലർ കുമ്പും തുമ്പിക്കൈയൊക്കെ ആയിട്ട് സാധാരണ അവൻ്റെ വീടിൻ്റെ അടുത്തുകൂടെ നടന്നു പോകുന്ന ഒരു ആനേനെ വരയ്ക്കും. ചിലർ വരയ്ക്കും കുളിക്കുന്ന കുളത്തിൽ കിടക്കുന്ന ഒരു ആനേനെ. ഇല്ലേ? You gave the same instruction, right? Instruction was same. But the output is different. Input is same. Right? That means the children in front of us are also different. Understand that first. Accept that. This is not accepted by any of the parents. This is not accepted by the teacher at certain point of time. Teacher expects the same output from all students. That is why we shout at certain children asking that she has completed the homework, why can't you? Right? So, I just want to underline the first most important message of inclusive education. It is nothing but every learner is different. What is that? Is it same? No. The children in front of you, each and every student in front of you are different. Don't expect the same output from every student. same performance from every student. Same performance level would not be expected from each and every student. It will deviate. That you have to understand and you have to put into your consciousness. Once it is fed, then everything is easy. Okay? That is the first stigma which we have to remove, even from the community and even from yourself. Clear? Yes. So we are going ahead with the So we are coming to the today's topic. I just made a background and I just wanted to make you understand about that. That is the first thing what you have to understand is your learners are different. So going forward, that is the basic principle of inclusive education. Without understanding that, striving for inclusion doesn't work. If everyone is equal, why we should strive for inclusion? That means everyone is equal and everyone is inside, right? We feel like someone is excluded. That is why we are working for including them, right? So who all are excluded? Who all are the people who are excluded? Yes.
Students. Introvert students. And
Minorities, yes. We just come forward.
Harita from second BEd student. Teachers who think who is differently able, they are excluded.
Teachers who think
the children is differently able, that teacher is excluded.
That is why I started my talk from there. When you put some sacrifice, some extra effort, able, but they are excluded. That community of teachers who want to put extra effort is kept away. Right? Yeah. Understood. അത് പറയാൻ ശ്രമിക്കുന്നത് ഒരു ടീച്ചിങ് കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റിയിലെ ഒരു സ്കൂളിലെ ഒരു ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷനിലെ ഒരു 40 ടീച്ചേഴ്സ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അതിലെ 30 പേരും എലോങ് വിത്ത് ദ ഫ്ലോ പോകാൻ ആഗ്രഹിക്കുന്ന ആൾക്കാരായിരിക്കും. അതായത് രാവിലെ ഇത്ര മണിക്ക് വർക്കിംഗ് അവേഴ്സ് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്തു, ഇത്ര സിലബസ് എനിക്ക് കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ചെയ്യണം, ഇത്രയൊക്കെ കരിക്കുലം എനിക്ക് കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ചെയ്യണം, ഇത്രയൊക്കെ ഡ്യൂട്ടീസ് എൻ്റെ റെസ്പോൺസിബിലിറ്റീസ് കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ചെയ്യണം, ഞാൻ അതെല്ലാം ചെയ്യുന്നു, എൻ്റെ ടൈം കഴിഞ്ഞു, ഞാൻ പോകുന്നു. Is it right? But there will be 1 or 2 teachers who want to do something different. നമുക്ക് അലോട്ട് ചെയ്തിട്ടില്ല 45 മിനിറ്റ്സ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 40 മിനിറ്റ്സ് എന്നുള്ള സ്കൂൾ അവേഴ്സ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ടൈം പീരീഡ് ഓഫ് ദ ഡ്യൂറേഷൻ 1 ലെക്ചർ ഡ്യൂറേഷനിൽ നിന്ന് എക്സ്ട്രാ എന്തെങ്കിലും ആ ഒരു ടൈം കൊണ്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അത് ഞാൻ ചെയ്യട്ടെ എന്ന് വിചാരിക്കുന്ന ടീച്ചേഴ്സും, അതുപോലെ ലഞ്ച് ബ്രേക്ക് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അതിൽ നിന്നൊരു 10 മിനിറ്റ്സ് എങ്കിലും എടുത്ത് എൻ്റെ പേഴ്സണലി എനിക്ക് മീറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന അതല്ലെങ്കിൽ നീഡി ആയിട്ടുള്ള 1-2 സ്റ്റുഡൻസിനെങ്കിലും ഹെൽപ്പ് ചെയ്യട്ടെ എന്ന് വിചാരിക്കുന്ന ടീച്ചേഴ്സ് ഉണ്ടാവും. ദേ വിൽ ബി എക്സ്ക്ലൂഡഡ് ഷുവർ. അത് കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റി നേച്ചറാണ്. ബട്ട് ദാറ്റ് ഷുഡ് നോട്ട് മേക്ക് യു think that as I am putting some extra effort for my child or my students, I am neglected from the entire community, so I should stop that practices and I should go along with the other entire group, because then you are neglecting your own ethics. You are sacrificing your own principles. നിങ്ങളൊരു ടീച്ചർ ആവാൻ തീരുമാനിച്ചത് അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു ടീച്ചർ ആവാനല്ലോ. ആണെങ്കിൽ why should you dilute it? You should not dilute it. You should go with the same principles. Whatever constraints is ahead. Then you will achieve something in your life. Clear? What she said is perfectly right. There will be constraints like that. We have to expect it. And we have to do ourselves whatever we can do to overcome that also. One day, that 30 people who is going along with the flow, they will understand that we were not entirely or completely right. They were right. Who put the extra effort were right. There will be a time period. But it will take time, maybe years. You have to patiently wait. That is the nature of the society. Okay, accept it and do the best for your children. Okay, so I just want to ask you who all are the excluded communities. She told minorities, intellectual, intervened students, then differently able students, then I just want to pick all the terms. Then differential learning, yes. Learning disabled children, then marginalized ones, yes. Gifted, sure. We have to give a great clap for her, because those other students who have noted till now were all the usual pattern or usual things which we used to notice. Gifted is also one among the excluded community. The same like the teacher who put the extra effort, the child who learned faster will be excluded. You have completed your homework, then keep quiet. This is a common experience, right? So, gifted. The child is good enough to complete the things faster, because his intellectual ability will be higher side and the other age group of students, or the same age group of students. But the things are not accepted by the teacher. So the teacher should be patient enough to give some extra work which he can complete by the time the other children are completing their other things. Instead of that, the teacher wants the child to be quiet and don't disturb the other students. Is it right? No. So the gifted students. Any other? Tribals, yes. Marginal people, minorities included. Then recently, by the RPWD Act, there was one more category of people who are included. Could you name that? It's none other than acid attack victims. Nowadays, we can hear a lot of cases like that, right? So they are also included. Even hemophilia patients, children, and the other categories are also included. So these are the categories of people who are excluded, and we are trying to include them. When you try to include them, as a teacher, you have to put extra effort. Okay? So we are coming to that. Could you recognize these resources which you have been using years before? What was that? Have any time you experienced with this type of resources? Yes. At what age? 5th standard. Then I am asking about the first and second images. First image and the second image. The first image, there is a small statement written over there. What is it? My hair is thin. And the second one is, could you identify blue shirt, yellow shirt? So what exactly it is meant for? To teach about the colors. At what age we will learn all this? Pre-KG. Nowadays it's the pre-KG. So pre-KG children used to learn all this, right? And these are the resources for them. Because you found that it is colorful, attractive, they can touch and feel and understand what is thin, right? So what is that type of resources called? When you listen to a podcast, what is it called? What type of aid it is? Audio? Audio aids. If it is a podcast, it's a audio aid. If it is a video, then it is a audio visual aid, right? What type of resource is that? It is helping for sensory learning. What type of sense? Touch. It can be called tactile. The term is tactile. So the tactile boosting resources are used in the lower standards to make the child understand by feeling, by using the touch sense, right? How many senses are there? Yes. The teachers should use all these senses to make the child understand about the concept. So here in the first picture, they want to tell the child, thin, what is thin? It is narrow, it is very much feeble, thin. So that is taught and the teacher make the child to touch that feeble, that thin thread. So the child understand that this is thin. And there was one more image next to that, that was of thick, where it is written, the rock is thick. The statement was, the rock is thick. I just clicked this image from my own KG books. My mother has a practice of preserving all the books which is used by the kids. Okay, so she used to preserve it. When I was just searching all those, I got all this. So there was one more page near to that. That page was showing the rock is thick. And there was an image of thick rock. That is, in Malayalam, we call it as vadam. വടം വലിക്ക് ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്ന വലിയ കയറ് കണ്ടിട്ടില്ലേ? അതുപോലത്തെ വലിയ ഒരു തിക്ക് റോക്ക്, അതിൻ്റെ അടുത്ത് ഒരു തിക്ക് വൂളൻ ത്രെഡും കൂടിയും റഫ് ആയിട്ടുള്ളത് വെച്ചിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു പേജ് ആയിരുന്നു നെക്സ്റ്റ്. സോ ദ എൻ്റെ റിസോഴ്സ് വാസ് ടു ടീച്ച് തിക്ക് ആൻഡ് തിൻ. The child can feel it and understand what is thick, what is thin. Okay. Likewise, the second one was to teach about the colors. ആ പേജിൻ്റെ മുകളിലായിട്ട് ഒരു കുഞ്ഞ് ബട്ടൺ ശ്രദ്ധിച്ചോ നിങ്ങൾ? അതെന്തിനാ? കുഞ്ഞുണ്ണോട് പേജുകൾ മറിക്കുമ്പോൾ ഒരുമിച്ച് ഒരു ലോട്ടാണ് മറിക്കുക. കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടോ? അല്ലേ? They feel it difficult to do the turning of the page, right? To manage it, there are fluffers on the top. So it is not page fluffers and it is added on the top. It is made colorful in the second image and attractive so that the child can manage it easily. And have you noticed how much thick that page is? Is it same thin page which we see in the normal notebooks? No, it is more thick and it is laminated, right? My mother had a practice of binding all the textbooks when we were in the lower standards. And at that time, we felt it difficult to carry all the binder textbook because it is more weight, more heavy. But now I understood why she is doing that. We were that much naughty. We didn't care about the textbooks. By the end of the year, textbooks won't remain intact. So she want to preserve that because I was the eldest one and I have the younger sisters. So she want to preserve that book also. So the same thing is done here with the laminated pages to preserve the entire thing, the content, because the children who have the different abilities will be little bit aggressive, or they can have the mood swings and they can have the different things and the different type of senses which trigger them at different situations. So to handle all this, the resources are also maintained, or the resources which is provided for the children are also maintained in such a way. So these are that, and yeah, 5 minutes. So coming to the next thing, the WHO and UNESCO had stressed in their studies, in the recent studies, that the technology used by the teachers for the students are not good enough to be accessed by everyone. That is why we are coming back or coming to the lower sides of the educational performance level. So the people who really need the access of technology, they are not able to access it. There is a lack of access. This lack of access, what they point out is like because of two reasons. One is lack of awareness among the teachers. The second one is because of the financial constraints. Okay, so how to overcome all this? That is what we have to think about. Likewise, the most important document which we currently focus is NEP, right? NEP 2020. And in that NEP also stress very much or promote importance of inclusive education. And if we want to achieve that inclusion, or if we want to achieve that aim, this awareness has to be tackled first by the teachers. That is why the objective of keeping this seminar especially for you teachers. Okay? So you understood that importance, how important it is. Okay? Then, so we will be focusing on two different objectives. One is how to create a barrier-free environment for the child. Many of the children, they are not able to learn properly because they are not having a good environment, learning environment, which they require or which is suitable for them. So, how to create that? Second thing is, the children, as I told you, are different. So, if they are different, how to cater them? How to use their performance or how to enhance their performance? So, these two things we will be focusing in the coming sessions. So, you are the organizers of the seminar, they want a small break. So, we'll be giving a break now.
Everyone, please be silent. I request everyone to take their seats. Let us continue with the session. എല്ലാവരും ഹാളിലേക്ക് പെട്ടെന്ന് തന്നെ കടന്നിരിക്കുക. ബ്രേക്ക് കഴിഞ്ഞു. I request everyone to maintain silence.
So welcome back. I think all of you are refreshed, right? So once you are refreshed, you should have a greater attention, right? Huh? Yeah. So you are ready for that. So now what we are going to listen is about assistive technology. How many of you have heard this term assistive technology? Assistive technology. Okay, leave that. I will show you another one. How many of you are using the pen named gripper? Gripper pen. കടയിൽ പോയിട്ട് ചോദിക്കില്ലേ ചേട്ടാ ഗ്രിപ്പറിന്റെ പേൻ ഏതായിരുന്നു ചോദിക്കില്ലേ ചോദിക്കില്ല പിന്നെന്താ ചോദിക്കുക സെല്ലോ ഗ്രിപ്പർ ചോദിക്കാനില്ലേ? ഞങ്ങളുടെയൊക്കെ ടൈമില് ഗ്രിപ്പറിന്റെ പാൻ ഇറങ്ങിയപ്പോൾ ഭയങ്കര സംഭവമായിരുന്നു. കാരണം അതിനൊരു റബ്ബറിന്റെ ഒരു റൗണ്ട് ഉണ്ട്. കമ്പനി അത് ഉദ്ദേശിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത് ഫോർ ബെറ്റർ റൈറ്റിംഗ്, യുവർ ഹാൻഡ് വിൽ ഗെറ്റ് മോർ ഏസ്, അതൊക്കെ ഉദ്ദേശിച്ചിട്ടാണ് അവരത് ഡിസൈൻ ചെയ്തത്. പക്ഷെ ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഫ്രണ്ട്സൊക്കെ ആ റബ്ബർ ഊരും, അതിങ്ങനെ തിരിച്ചങ്ങോട്ട് പോരും അത് റബ്ബർ, എന്നിട്ട് കളിക്കും വല്ലവരെ മെതിക്കൊക്കെ ഒന്ന് എറിയാനും. കാരണം ആരെങ്കിലും ഉറങ്ങുണ്ടാവും ക്ലാസ്സിലെ, അപ്പം നമുക്കിതൊന്ന് എറിയാൻ ഹാംലെസ് ആയിട്ട് ഒന്ന് അറ്റൻഷൻ സീക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ നമുക്ക് കളിക്കാൻ ഉപയോഗിക്കാം. പക്ഷെ അതല്ല അതിൻ്റെ പർപ്പസ്. ദ പർപ്പസ് ഓഫ് ദ ഗ്രിപ്പർ is to give good support for the hands and the fingers while writing. And this is used for the children who have the difficulty for writing. There are certain categories of children who have the difficulty for writing. What is their term called? Dysgraphia, right? So the dysgraphic children, have you seen the children who have the dysgraphic problems, and have you seen them how they write and draw? Just check the homework book which is submitted in front of you for different type of purposes, maybe for the assignment correction, maybe for the notebooks and all. When you get the submission, just check the shape, the size and the legibility of the handwriting which is in the notebooks. So that will give you a lot of input about what is the level of the child. Is the child dysgraphic? Do the child have dyscalculia? When you communicate with the child through a few questions, that will make you understand whether the child is having dyslexia. Correct? So what is dyslexia? The issue with pronunciation. To issue, the child is having the difficulty to communicate. So what is it called? Dyslexia. And what is dysgraphia? The difficulty for writing. So their writing, the strokes of writing won't be same as how we write. Could you take the fingers out? Your finger, one finger, the pointer one, the pointer finger, chundu verle, and write the letter O or 0. How did you write it? Is it in the clockwise or anti-clockwise? Okay, there is no disagreement between us. How many of you are with the clockwise direction? How many of you are for anti-clockwise? Okay, those who are writing in the clockwise direction, just try to seek and see whether the other letters which you write is having the same strokes which you have learned in the lower standards. Your teacher used to tell you, you have to start from this point, you have to go by this way, follow this line, this dotted lines, come back in the same way and write the letter A. Right? If you didn't follow that, that means there is some difficulty for writing. And the letters won't appear in the same shape how it has to be appeared. That is why when you write O, in the clockwise direction it is different, and in the anti-clockwise direction it is different. How is the right stroke? Which one it is? Anti-clockwise direction. You have to start from here, go by this way and reach to the same point. Then your letter O or 0 look beautiful. If you write in the other way, it will be like oblong. ചിലപ്പോൾ മുട്ട പുഴുങ്ങുമ്പോൾ പുറത്തേക്ക് വരില്ലേ ഇങ്ങനെ ഇങ്ങനെയിട്ട് അതുപോലെ ഇരിക്കും. Okay, so the grippers are meant for, the finger grippers are meant for making the child perfect in holding the pencil. How you hold the pencil when you started writing in the lower standards? ആദ്യം ഇങ്ങനെ പെൻസിൽ പിടിക്കുക, വല്ലവരും കുത്താൻ പോണ പോലെ പിടിക്കുക ഇങ്ങനെ അല്ലേ, ഇപ്പൊ ഒരു കുത്തു വെച്ച് തരും, അങ്ങനെയല്ലേ പിടിക്കുക. അപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും, കറക്റ്റ് ചെയ്യും, ഇങ്ങനെയല്ല മോനെ പിടിക്കുക, ഇങ്ങനെയല്ല പിടിക്കുക, ഇങ്ങനെ പിടിക്കണം. How should be the finger, where should be the finger kept, and where should be the pencil rested on the fingers also you will be taught, right? അതങ്ങനെ പഠിപ്പിക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത് if you have a learning disabled child in your class, they will find it totally difficult because their fingers are not that much sensitive enough to hold the pencil properly. And you have the thin pencils which is appearing in the market, right? Very thin sleek pencils. It's very tough to hold the same and draw for a longer time, right? So at that time, nowadays we pencils which are of the bigger diameter. The circumference of the entire pencil will be more compared to the other pencils. And even to hold it properly, the finger grippers are used. It is available in the market. So these type of things which help the child to do the writing or to have an increased performance is known as adaptive device. It is adapted. It is not same in the shape of the pencil. It is adapted in different way, right? So that is known as adaptive device. And the second one, the second figure shows a book stand. Why it is book stand? Have you seen these children having the cerebral palsy? Do you remember Stephen Hawking? Yes. How he appeared? How was the appearance? Could he hold the things in the hand? No. Only if the fingers were moving, right? He could move only the fingers. And using the fingers, he was controlling the entire his wheelchair, entire room equipments, etc. Only the fingers. So those people find it difficult to hold the book for a reading or for the other learning purpose. So for them, the book stand is given. So these type of equipments or the devices are known as adaptive devices. What is the term? Because it is not a normal book stand, it is adapted for special purpose. Adapted in such a way that it is suiting for the need of the child. So there will be the page turners on that. The child can just click that page turner and the book will be turned with the page. And the last one, the third image. There the child is wearing a headphone. At the same time, how is the keyboard appearing? Is it the same keyboard which we use, QWERTY1? No, it is different one. So how it is different, we will see. Before that, we can learn the definition. What is assistive technology? Assistive technology is nothing but, it can be an equipment, it can be a software, or it can be a device, or anything which increase the performance of a child or a learner to improve the functional capabilities. That is, they are capable to do something, but it has to be increased or it has to be enhanced. That level of performance has to be increased. For that, what all things help the child? It can be a device, it can be a software, or it can be an equipment, or it can be a simple thing also. But that thing which help the child to enhance or improve their functional abilities and capabilities are considered as assistive technology. Clear? So there now you may be able to point out a lot of things which come under assistive technology. We using the assistive technology? Yes or no? Could you name a few? The most familiar one. Smart board, of course. Then I'm not talking about the teachers, I'm talking about the student. Or are we using any assistive technology in our day-to-day life? Smart board, okay. We will come to that. Any other example? I will tell you the best example. I was not completely knowing about the correct location of your institution. While coming, your principal ma'am shared me the location. I was just following that GPS location and it came here. Am I using any assistive technology? Because I am assisted with the technology, right? I am incapable to reach here to find my location. So I am assisted with something. The GPS tracker, right? The Google map, right? It is as simple as that. Clear? So that is the best example which we are using in the everyday life. So could we tell that assistive technology is only for the differently abled? No, it is not possible. At certain point of time, everyone requires some help or some aid in one way or the other, whichever technological devices or equipments which help us to be capable enough to do a function is considered as assistive technology. But nowadays, there are a lot of assistive technology devices which is specially designed for the learning disabled children, for the students who are autistic, etc. Clear? So we will have a look into all those services and the different devices. When we categorize the assistive technology devices, we can use for enhanced communication. Suppose there is a dyslexic child. When you communicate or when you ask some questions to that child, the child may not be able to pronounce it properly, or you may not be able to listen to that pronunciation particularly. And if you are taking an oral exam, you can ask a question one time and the child will give the answer. If you are not clear how many times you can ask the child to repeat it, it's not possible, right? So you can record the same, and there are devices which will convert the speech of the child into text format. So even if you are taking an oral exam, you can preserve the entire answer scripts for your further reference by using this software. So that is enhanced communication devices which you can use. Likewise, if you want to make the child better with the pronunciation, tutoring softwares are available. Drill and practice softwares are available. What is drill and practice? In your childhood days, you may be remembering like teacher will ask you to recite a poem. When you go home, back to home, you have to repeat it for 10 times and you come back. Likewise, how many times we have recited a lot of Malayalam poems and the English poems, right? And we have the test the next day where the teacher will ask everyone, you just recite the first stanza. After finishing the first stanza, the second one, recite the second stanza. Likewise, teacher will test it whether you have learned or not, right? At that time, we had faced an issue. You will remember the entire, the way how the teacher recited that poem till the bell rang at the end of the class hours. After reaching home, when you tried to recollect it, it was difficult, right? Teacher recited in another way. It was not proper. But somehow I have to learn. Right? So the drill and practice softwares are meant for that. Once the teacher is trying to recite that poem, teacher can record, be kept as a resource for the entire student community in the computer or in your hardware disk. So you can send it, that entire file can be sent it to the children, and the children can listen to that and they can repeat. In between, as it is a software, in between while the child is giving the input, when the child gives that input, if there is small corrections or small pronunciation mistake, the software will tell this is not perfect. You have to recite it in this way. The same type of softwares you may have experienced, or your nearby, your friends or some others would have experienced while going for IELTS coaching. Nowadays everyone is going for Canada, right? So when you go for Canada, when you go for fly for Germany, you have to learn foreign language, right? For foreign language learning, they are using such type of softwares, drill and practice softwares. You listen to a comprehension, you have to repeat it in the same way, and it will help you to correct that pronunciation. The same thing you can also use to improve your own language. So you as a teacher is double benefited when you understand about drill and practice software. You can use it for yourself, at the same time you can use it for your students also. This is where we understand, or we start to get aware about these type of things which help us. So that comes under assistive technology. Then usage and accessibility towards printed materials or book library services. If a child is having locomotor disability, if your children in your classroom, one child is having locomotor disability and using the wheelchair, the child want to go and visit the library. Where is the books in the library kept? Is it in the same height of the wheelchair? No. It is arranged on the higher height side. So the child may have to take the assistance of the librarian or library assistant or somebody else to get that books, right? So instead of that, there are assistive technologies to help that also. Instead of reaching to that book, they can read it in some other way. We will look into that. Then, access to computers to prepare the notes, reports, letter, access data, search on the computer, internet, etc. Then conducting answering exams. As I told you, if there is a child who is dyslexic in your classroom, they cannot write, they cannot read properly. So at that time, for the dyslexic and dysgraphic children, you may have to take an alternative exam, alternative mode of exam. So when a teacher have to choose that, you may have to take up the help of assistive technologies. Then provision for sports, we will look into that, how you can include the child is having the disabled children, differently able children into the sports activities also. So these are the common examples. You can read it, and if you have any one, if you find it difficult, you can just ask. But we will look into the most of the things in the coming slides. GPS-based navigation device, we have seen. Then magnifying software. When you visit a website, have you seen a small menu or task menu bar where it is showing a small magnifying glass? When you click on that, the entire screen will be magnified. Have you seen that? Yes, you have experienced the same, right? Or there will be a small plus button. If you put that plus button on, that entire screen will be getting enhanced. That font size will be increasing, right? So that is also for helping the children who are differently abled. They find it difficult to understand and focus on the smaller or the minute letters. So you can enhance the screen and see the same. Is this facility available with every website? No. So why is it so? Should it be in that way? We will see in the coming lecture. Then I have just simplified it into this way. We will look into all this. The first one, as I told you, if a child cannot reach to the library, what is the possibility of reading that book? How the child can approach that resource? That is text reading machine. So you can keep that text same like Xerox machine, how you take the Xerox and all. There is a small platform. You can place the entire textbook and that machine will read it for you. Even there is a recording option. Once the entire machine is reading that, you can record it and that file can be shared. Is it good? So this is the invention which is done especially for the children with a disability. Because every now and then the child cannot hold the textbook, as I told you in the case of Stephen Hawking. Holding the textbook is very much difficult. So here in this case, there is no need of holding the textbook and all, turning the page, etc. Or otherwise, if you want to read it on the spot also, they can use it by turning the page. The entire reading will be done by the machine. Even the images reading. So that machine, when it was started for the first time, it was not reading the images. Now the advanced version is already in the market and it is able to read the images, even the colored and the non-black and white text, everything can be sorted and read. So that is Cersei Instant Text Reading Machine. Which one is it? Cersei Instant Text Reading Machine. So this is the description for the Cersei. It can hold up to 160 GB. So storing memory is there, but at the same time, if you want to convert that file, it is possible. The next one. How many of you have seen how the Braille language appears, or have you ever experienced the Braille language pages? How many of you? Yes. How is it? What was your experience?
തൊടുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ഫീൽ ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി പറ്റും. തൊടുമ്പോൾ ഫീൽ ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി പറ്റും. ഇങ്ങനെ പൊന്തി ഒരു ആണി കൊണ്ടൊക്കെ ഇങ്ങനെ കുത്തിയാൽ എങ്ങനെ ഇരിക്കും? പിൻ ചെയ്ത പോലെ ഡോട്ട് ഡോട്ടായിട്ട്. ഇല്ല ഇല്ല.
Okay, so they were telling that it is like the dots on a raised platform or a page. It is like a pin which is inserted and that raised surface will be felt by the people. കണ്ണടച്ചിട്ടാണോ അത് തൊട്ട് നോക്കിയത്? എന്നിട്ടത് റീഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റിയായിരുന്നില്ല. ഷുവർ അല്ലേ? അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റിയായിരുന്നില്ല. പക്ഷെ എന്തോ ഉണ്ടെന്നറിയാം. ഓക്കെ, സോ ദിസ് ഈസ് ഹൗ ഇറ്റ് ഫീൽ. Because of my personal interest, I tried to learn the language. I am half the way, not complete, half the way. I have learned the alphabets and how to arrange the alphabets in the same way how the Braille appears. Braille language is nothing. It is, the entire thing is based on only 6 dots. That is the most beauty of that language. ഒരു 6 ഡോട്ട് വെച്ചിട്ട് എൻ്റയർ ലാംഗ്വേജ്, വെറും 6 ഡോട്ട്. ആ 6 ഡോട്ടിനെ ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ് ഡിസൈനിലെ പാറ്റേണിൽ അറേഞ്ച് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ് ലെറ്റേഴ്സ് കിട്ടും. ബ്രെയിൽ ഇൻ മലയാളം ഈസ് റീസെൻ്റ്ലി ഗെറ്റിംഗ് ഡൺ. Likewise, the other languages are getting done. But the first language which is all universally for the Braille language is English. And I have tried to learn the English language Braille. That is Braille which is in the English language. So you will be writing the English comprehension or English language in the Braille language. Is it clear? This is a boy എന്ന് ഞാൻ എഴുതണമെങ്കിൽ this is a boy എന്നുള്ളത് ഈ 6 ഡോട്ട് വെച്ച് എഴുതണം. Clear? So you also can learn. It is really available on the online. I will show you before the class ends. I will show you that which is a website. You can also learn, but you have to put an extra effort. Same as how we have discussed in the beginning of the session. 9 മണി തൊട്ട് 5 മണി വരെ സ്കൂളിൽ ഇരുന്നിട്ട് തിരിച്ചു വന്നിട്ട് കുറച്ച് നേരം സ്പെൻഡ് ചെയ്താലേ പഠിക്കാൻ പറ്റും. So now you may have a question, why ma'am you have to learn the braille? Why I have learned is because of one single issue which I have experienced in my life. It is nothing but nowadays we have the Google Translator. My children are learning Konkani. They are not native of Goa and they are actually their native language is Malayalam and they know English also. Okay. So at that time, even I can't help because I'm not a native of Goa region. So I cannot help them completely for learning Konkani. So I just tried to get an aid from the Google. And Google Translator have a very good option where you can take just using the Google Lens, click the image of the textbook, the entire content will be converted in Konkani language. Likewise, it was converted and my child was preparing for the exam. So the entire, okay, so what happened is like, അവൻ പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുമ്പോൾ ഞാൻ ജസ്റ്റ് ചോദിച്ചു, ഇതെല്ലാം ശരിയല്ലേ വായിക്കുന്നതെല്ലാം, ഇതെല്ലാം ട്രാൻസ്ലേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് വന്നത് കറക്റ്റ് അല്ലേ എന്ന് ചോദിച്ചു. ഞാൻ അപ്പോൾ പറഞ്ഞു കറക്റ്റാമാ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. പക്ഷേ now I am around 9 to 10 years in Goa, so I understand Konkani even though I am not completely fluent. ഞാൻ ജസ്റ്റ് നോക്കി ഇതെന്താ സംഭവം, ഇപ്പം വായിക്കുന്നതെല്ലാം ശരിയല്ലേ എന്ന്. ഗൂഗിൾ ട്രാൻസ്ലേറ്റ് ചെയ്തപ്പോൾ ആ എൻ്റയർ ടെക്സ്റ്റിലെ സീഷെൽസ്, അതായത് മുത്തുച്ചിപ്പികളെ കുറിച്ചുള്ള ഒരു പ്രോസാണത്, ഒരു പാരഗ്രാഫ്. അതിൽ പറഞ്ഞിരിക്കുന്നത് മുത്തുച്ചിപ്പികളെ കുറിച്ചിട്ടാണെന്നുള്ള രീതിയിൽ എഴുതി. But actually it was not about the seashells. It was something different. Because when the word was entirely completely translated, the Google went wrong. You may also have the experience like GPS will tell you this is your destination and you will feel like you haven't reached your destination because it may be somewhere else, right? So there are some places where technology fail, right? So Braille box is actually meant for converting the entire textual data into the printed form of Braille. So you can give entire text which you want to convert into Braille language, you can feed that into the instrument and the system or the device will convert the same and print the entire thing into the Braille language and you will get the sheets. But how we can ensure that whether it is correct or not? Could we ensure? There may be a time period or there may be a minute situation where the technology fail, right? You have to ensure, your duty is as a teacher to ensure that you are giving the 100% perfect thing to the student. When you write something on the chalkboard, if something went wrong and when the student point out that teacher what you wrote is wrong, should you shout or should you patiently accept it? Yeah. So it is a human instance that there may be a mistake. So likewise technology also sometimes fail. But to understand it, to double confirm that I am giving the learner a perfect thing which is not without any mistakes, to ensure that, understand that, I should understand that language. So with my initiative, I started to learn the Braille language. You also can see and learn the same. There are 36 lessons. If you spend 15 minutes daily, you can completely, entire module can be self-learning module it is. So you can complete that training program and you can also earn the certificate that you are a person who have learned the Braille language. Because you can expect a child who is learning the Braille language in your because we are going for inclusion. Understood? No. It's not a part of our syllabus. Is it a part of our syllabus? No. B.Ed syllabus insists us to learn braille language? No. You can easily tell that it is the special educator's role. Right? നിങ്ങൾക്ക് പോയിന്റ് ചെയ്യാം, കാരണം ഇത് ഞങ്ങളുടെ സിലബസിലൊന്നും ഇല്ലാത്തതാ, ഞാൻ പഠിച്ചിട്ടൊന്നും ഇല്ല ഇത് പറഞ്ഞൂടെ. So at that time you have to put some extra effort with your own interest. So if you are interested, you can do that. I will show you that software. Okay, so again, this is the software or the device which completely meant for printing the braille sheets. So you can insert the card like sheets and the entire text will be printed and you can be get it and provide it for the children. The next one is Flexi Talk Daisy Readers. എൻ്റെ മമ്മിയുടെ പേര് ഡേസി എന്നാ, പക്ഷെ ആ ഡേസി അല്ല ഇത്. What is this daisy meant about? Daisy means what? It is a full form of digital, accessible, yes, information systems. So that entire is done by, it is an association, it is a consortium. Consortium means it's a group, it's an association. NISO, National Information Standards organization. It is an American based organization. Same like how you have learned about APA format. ഇപ്പോൾ പേപ്പർ എല്ലാം പ്രസന്റ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾ പറയാറില്ലേ APA ഫോമാറ്റിൽ വേണം. What is the full form of APA? American Psychological Association. And they have set a standard how you have to write, how to do with the bibliography, right? Same way, how to go with the talking books or talking devices. DAISY is the standard. So it is not simple thing. Whenever you are trying to build up or when you are trying to convert a book into the talking book format, you have to follow a standard. Which is a standard? It is a DAISY standard. So next time you should not tell that we don't know the DAISY. ആ ചേച്ചിനെ എനിക്ക് അറിയില്ല എന്ന് പറയരുത്, മനസ്സിലായാ? So what is DAISY? Digital Accessible Information System, and it is done by whom? It's a consortium and it is from America, because Americans, they have set a standard, national association. It is a national information system and that organization has set up the standard and it is universally accepted. If somebody do the good, we have to accept it and we have to follow it. Okay, so what is this standard? അതായത് ഒരു ഫയൽ ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ അത് എത്ര കമ്പാക്റ്റബിൾ ആയിരിക്കണം ഫോർ ദ ആക്സസബിൾ, ഹൗ മച്ച് ആക്സസബിൾ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ഫോർ എ ലേണർ, അതിനെ ബേസ് ചെയ്തിട്ടാണ് ആ സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡ് സെറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. Many times some of our friends will share some files. When you try to open it, it won't be open. It won't be compatible for your device. Clear? This should not happen for the talking books. It should be compatible for the different devices. It should be compatible in the file format which is good enough to play in any one of the devices. So that is the DAISY format. And still there are many other standards, many other features which has to be included in that. So Plex Talk is a device which is following the DAISY format. Understood? No? So that they completely follow the DAISY format and they can make the child or they can help the child to read any of the books. So you can convert any textbook into the audio format or the talking book format using the Plex Talk. So it is a device for that. And navigation keys are there. So how the navigation accessibility is there, that is also up to the standard. So when you see that there is an accessible file and if it is told that this is disable friendly, you have to see that, you have to ask a question, is it up to the DAISY format? Clear? Yes. Then the next one is JOS. What is JOS? Job assess with speech. Job means task. They have meant the job as not as an employment, it is a task. Any of the activity. Any activity which can be assessed with speech or talk. Okay? The oral communication or the oral instruction which is navigating everything. So this is a software and it is an extension which can be downloaded and you can keep it in your device, system, the computer. So if you have a learning disabled child in your school, you can just download this entire software program and you can install it in your system in the computer lab. So whenever you are taking the students to the computer lab, you can make this child to sit in the computer which is already installed with the JOS. Okay? So that is meant for that. Even it can be purchased for your PC at home also. But the thing is, JOS is a expensive one because you have to pay for the version. You have to pay and you have to download it and you have to get it for your system. But there are certain things which is open access. Same like Microsoft and Libre. LibreOffice is open source. But Microsoft is payable. Every now and then Microsoft will send you, if you have a cracked version in your system, you will get the hint that we are sending the virus, we understood that you are using the cracked version, right? So this won't happen with the LibreOffice because it is an open source. It's free to use to everyone. It is free to be downloaded by everyone and you can use it without any expense. Same like JOS is a version which is paid version. This is an open source one. You can download it for your computer, NVDA. So that is an open source software. It can be downloaded. It has the facilities like screen reading. So you can start the click button. It will read the entire screen. So if you want, there is a entire prose on your computer screen, it will be read by the computer itself because it's screen reading. Extension is already inbuilt. Clear? So that is what. So it will help the children to drill and read. And it will help the child to understand. They can navigate it. They can use the computer freely without any assistance by anyone else. Then nowadays it is earlier only the JOS was the option available. So there were more people who were using it. Nowadays the thing has changed. So why it is this taught to you? Because when you reach the school, when you have a child in front of you who have the difficulty, it is your responsibility to tell the school management and the authorities and even the computer lab teachers that this is a provision over there, you can do it. And my child will use it. Clear? Yes. This is PF. I still remember during the Christmas season, we used to get the greeting cards. Nowadays, we don't go for purchase of greeting cards. Earlier, when we were younger, in the young stage, when we used to do, keep one day aside for purchase of greeting cards. From the smaller cards till the bigger one, we used to purchase. If it is a good, thick friendship, we will purchase a big card. If it is just a high wish, we'll purchase a 10 rupee card. Right? There was a time like that. Before, just when I was just cleaning my home and keeping the things getting organized, I got the big bunch of Christmas cards which I had preserved. So I showed it to my kids. They were like, this used to be done. You people used to do this. And they were wondering about the cards. Because some of the cards were with the glitters. Some cards when they opened, they had the music. Even though battery was lower, but it was playing, luckily. So I told them, when you open it, you will get a music. and it was gifted by someone from abroad. So at that time, it was very much, we were like, oh, it should be preserved like that, right? There was a time like that. Nowadays, how we send the greeting, the wish. Christmas morning, there will be hundreds of hit messages which is coming to our phone, and we have to spend 10 to 15 minutes to clean our phone with that messages which has to be deleted, right? Will we read it? Very, very few, right? But when I just was turning all those greeting card bunch, no, I got one card which my grandmother had sent when we were 60 years old. And in that there was grandmother's handwriting. Now she is passed away. So I told my mother, see, this is a card which she had sent. And I had a practice of writing the year on the other side of the greeting card before it kept it for practice, preserving it. So that practice helped me a lot, because now when I turned, I saw that year is mentioned it as 1994. We felt so sorry because she is already passed away. We can see only her handwriting now. There are so many sentimental attachments to those type of things, right? So likewise, why I told you about Christmas cards is, on that Christmas cards, there were certain things which we can feel. Sometimes Christmas Santa will be raised from the platform. Sometimes the balloons will be raised. Sometimes the stars will be raised. And it is funny to touch and feel, right? The same thing is with the PF. You can take any image. You can get it print any image in the form of a raised shape or embossed printing is possible with the PF machine. Why it is so? It is for the visually challenged children. It will help them a lot, enjoy a lot. Shall we play a video about that? Oh, your Wi-Fi connection, will you, no, it's not possible. You just share me the Wi-Fi connection.
PF. Making tactile graphics. Making tactile graphics is very easy. Print your image on swell paper and put it through PF. But making a good tactile graphic takes a little more time and thought. Tactile graphics are not visual. They don't need to look visually appealing. The area of your finger that you use to read a tactile graphic is about the size of a braille cell, 2.5 millimeters wide. Make sure that no detail is smaller than this throughout your diagram. Before you make a graphic, it's wise to decide whether it is the best way to convey the information. Using a decision tree helps to make sure you only make the best tactile images. Make sure lines follow a priority system. Thicker, unbroken lines have priority over all other lines, and thin, broken lines have the least priority. Don't use arrows unless they're really needed to convey information. If they don't convey necessary information, they're just clutter. If you do need to use arrows, clear a fingertip width path around it. As you see, making good tactile graphics takes knowledge, experience, and patience. This is a well-designed example of the bridge you saw earlier. A good quality tactile image can only be achieved if you use high-quality material. Using the PIAF pens, you can create any image. Because of the quality of the original PIAF paper, even the finest line will be clearly discernible. The original PIAF paper allows you to add more graphical information. When it is run through the PIAF, the quality of the existing tactile information will not be compromised. The same great results can be achieved with graphics designed on your PC. When you print it on the original PIAF paper and run it through the PIAF, you will enjoy even the tiniest elements.
Okay, so you understood what is PIAF, right? Yeah. It is easy to convert any image or the graphical images or anything which you want to teach the child into a tactile form with that printer. So it can be converted, and only thing what as a teacher you have to do is you have to just select and see which are the tactile, how much it should be density wise, how much thicker it should be. All this you have to just decide and just give that instruction in that platform before you print the same. And you can design it and you can decide it. Clear? So that is the PIAF tactile markers. The next one is translation, Braille translation software. Here you can translate any language into the Braille form. Nowadays around 16 Indian languages are available to convert it into Braille language. So universal format is English, but at the same time nowadays the Indian languages are also available. So with this software you can convert the same into the Braille form. So next time onwards, may be a partially visually challenged child, maybe in your classroom. So at that time what you have to make them, or how you can assist them as a teacher, you can tell the parents and you can make the parents aware about the software. At the same time you can use it for your children also. Then the next one is Magic magnification software. Magic is a software, you can download it from the Play Store and it can be incorporated as an extension in your Chrome. So it will play it whenever you are using your website or your system, the software will be run. So the person who have the difficulty for reading without the smaller letters, font size, etc., they can magnify it, they can navigate it easily. Many times we find it difficult to use the touch screen also to correctly click on the mouse, correctly click where the pointer has to be kept, etc. If we find it difficult, it will be more difficult for the children who have the difficulties. So for them also, Magic is the best software. It will just with a small sensitivity also, it will catch it, that sensitivity, and that click and the navigation can be done. So these are the two different softwares which can be used easily. The next one is those students who have the difficulty with the locomotor disability, they can use even the pedal mouse. The mouse navigation is done by the pedal movements, that is leg movements. Clear? So they can navigate it and use it. Even the persons who are handicapped here can be use this type of pedal mouse. And the other one is the mouse which is modified, adapted mouse. Here it is scroll, that scroll button or the scrolling ball, it is like a track ball. So the track ball will decide your navigation and the key. How the mouse moves or the clicker move, the cursor move, it will be decided by the track ball. So it is easy, right? So it is the advanced or modified type of mouse for the people who are disabled. These are the keyboards. We use the which type of keyboard? Which is the usual format? What is it named? QWERTY keyboard. Because the letter is in the, why can't it be in the alphabetic form A, B, C, D? I have taught many times. Why these people are keeping all these letters here and here jumbled? We have learned A, B, C, D in the systematic form, right? Why can't they keep the letters also in the same format? Have you ever thought the same? Yes? And you got the answer? Have you got the answer? I got the answer. It is based on the research. In English language, the keyboard is completely designed based on the language English, right? And the letters are also English. Later we will insert for different languages and we will do the different versions. That is what. But when they designed, it is based on a lot of research which has happened. How many letters and the positioning of the letters, how it is, and how we type. How many letters are repeatedly used. Frequency of the letter appearance, frequency of positioning of the letter appearance, based on all these and the hand movements. Based on that, certain letters which we have to frequently use are keep closer. Certain letters which we are not frequently using are kept in a distant space. That is how the entire keyboard is appearing in the QWERTY format. Clear? But at the same time, there are certain advanced and adapted form of keyboards. That is these type of keyboards. The first one is with the embossed keys. The size of the keys are bigger and it is certain keys which the child which has to use more frequently. It is in the embossed form. But the keys which the child has to less use, it is not raised. The second one is also completely designed based on ergonomics. Ergonomics means how I want my capabilities, what is my capabilities, what is my difficulties, what is my strength. Based on that keyboard is designed. So it will be differently designed for each person. Then the last one, the middle one, that one is meant for the children who have certain disabilities and attention seeking disorder. If they have, they don't listen much and they cannot concentrate for a longer duration. So when you want the systematic type of habits which has to be designed or developed in the children, they had to made into that practice. So when they have to use it, instead of the different keys, you can insert pictures also into that. So certain times, if you give an instruction to the child, whenever you want water, just click this key. So you can insert the image of a glass bottle instead of the letter on the key which the child has to use. Clear? If the child want to answer something or want to raise a question or the child want to ask for something, you can just input the image of the same which the child love more instead of the image of the key, and you can print it and you can insert it. That is the middle one. Okay, so these are the adapted forms of keyboards. The learning disability, as you have told, is not a thing which can be easily handled by the teacher with the duration of 45 minutes lecture. You would have understood it, you would have experienced it, right? So at that time, you may have to use different type of devices, different type of aids for helping the child. So all these will help for that. Adapted toys, games, communication cards, electronic devices, etc. We have seen a few, still we can see more. The first one is the Braille language. For A, it is a single dot. For B, it is double dot. For C, it is not triple dot, it is 2 dots nearby. And D, 2 dot and 1 more on the down. So within seconds you have learned 4 letters. For A, how is it? Single dot. Then 2. See? 2 dots, but it's in the line. Then D, 2 dot and 1 on the down of the second dot. 4 letters learned. Right? So is it easy? Will you make the effort? Yeah, I will show you that software also. So the second one is the Redefining software which is used. I have taken the screenshot of that. The next one is the trackball. That is, that ball can be used for the visually challenged children. The ball has a inbuilt sound in that. If you throw it, the sound of the ball can be tracked. In the same way, you can track the location of the ball also. So the next time when you ask the children who have the difficulties in your classroom, when you take them for the PE lectures, will you ask them to stay back at the room? You stay here in the classroom, let the other children play. Will you do that? No. Then the next one we will see little bit more elaborate in the next sessions. So shall we play the next one? Yes.
Simon was one of my favorite games growing up, and retro games are always a huge hit here at Marbles. To play, activate the device, watch, and listen as the 4 buttons light up randomly and produce different sounds. Then press the buttons in the same order to progress to the next round. With each round, the number of buttons to press increases, as does the challenge.
Just see how what is the frequency or how the sequence of the colors appear. How is it? then yellow, then red.
Simon also contains 2 other game modes. Game 2 allows you to create your own sequence. Game 3 involves assigning a color to each individual player. When their color lights up, they must quickly repeat the signal. If they miss, they're out of the round. Simon is a great challenge for your memory and an addictively fun game that's great for individuals or for groups.
Okay, so this is Simon's game. That game is meant for increasing the memory of the children. So many times we know that you would have seen that, or you would have experienced the parents complaining that my child is so much hyperactive. He won't sit or she won't sit for a longer time. You can't make her sit for a longer time to study, etc. So when you use this type of games, it will help to increase or boost the memory of the child, and the child will be increasing the ability to concentrate for a longer duration. So the game is actually meant like, when you play, first the device will give you one particular sequence of appearing of the colors and in the musical background. So it will appear in one way and you have to replay in the same format, how that input is given. So you have to give that, when the output of the colors appear with the sound, you have to listen to that and you have to input the same pattern which is appeared. So in the beginning, it will be just one blink of the colors. It will be red and green or blue or green, etc. But when you go on advanced, it will get advanced in such a way that there will be 2 blink on one color, 3 blink on the other, likewise. And there is advanced stages of the same game also. That is what that video we have seen. Okay. So it can be used easily. It is purchasable and it is online, Amazon available. I am not propagating about that, but still these are the different devices which are available. But as a teacher you should understand that, and you can give that awareness or share that awareness to the parents of the children. Clear? Then the next one is accessibility testing. So as I have told you, when you just visit a website, you have to see that certain times when you visit the website of UNESCO, when you visit the website of WHO and all, you can see that it will be completely accessible to anyone. That is, screen reader will be available. There will be magnifying software which is inbuilt in the website. So you don't have to download the extra one for your system. When you use that website, that system will be available. So navigation keys will be available and it will be completely accessible to anyone. So accessible friendly or disabled friendly. So that type of system, or how much that accessibility level is or free is, disability freeness is, that testing is known as accessibility testing. So in the coming era or in the nearby era, you may have to undergo the accessibility testing for any of the software, any app, etc. You may download one app from the Google Play Store and you may tell that after some time it is not user friendly, it has got these complaints, right? Whenever we are using this app, these issues are generated, right? So whenever you have to upload a accessible, friendly, accessible softwares or apps, you have to go for accessibility testing. I just want to tell you about this because there is one more software which is meant for testing. That is, if you developed an app, you can use that browser stack app to test how much accessible your app is or how much accessible your website is. So next era will be whenever an institution is developing a website, it has to be kept accessible. Nowadays, most of the government institutions and government bodies, they are receiving the circulars from the government telling that your infrastructure should be accessible, should be barrier free. What is it? You have to build up the ramp, you have to ensure that it is accessible to anyone. Even a person who have the difficulty should be able to access to your institution. So that is what the accessible buildings meant. This is how you can make it accessible. So the first one is a public transport. Nowadays we know that if there is a wheelchair, the person has to find it very difficult to enter. First of all, the wheelchair has to be made into the crumble form, and then again it has to be made into a portable form. Then the person who is using it has to enter. Then the wheelchair has to be loaded to use the public transport. But at the same time, if you use such type of ramps, it is a ramp which can be used and it can be made into the other way also. When you use the way it's moving, the ramp will be inside. So adjustable one. Adjustable. So the person who is using a wheelchair can directly enter into that. You remember the Bangalore days film? Same thing. Then the next one is, this one is also manageable. That is, you can adjust that entire ramp. If you don't want the same, you can keep it away, and whenever you need the same, you can take it and put it. So that is also an adjustable and portable one. And the next one is the wheelchair but standable one. So it is the advanced version. So the person who is in the wheelchair, they can stand up. So that is why I told you, when the library books is not approachable for the child, if the standable wheelchair is there, you can easily approach it. The next one is grippers. When you want to beep a sound, or when you want to give an instruction to the children, and when the child want to give an input for you, at that time where to click. If it is a small button, they will find it difficult to, they will be confused which one it is. So the button is bigger and the button is with the grip, and it is colorful. It is made into attractive form. So these button you can insert on whichever button you want, or if there is a switch in the classroom, you can keep it. It's like whenever the child want to give some that is the child want to inform you about something, you can make that insert that button. It is a rubberized one on the same switch which is used in the classroom. So they can use that instead of using the small one. Then the next one is, even that person is in the wheelchair, they can reach to the balcony and the area where they want to enjoy something. So the room or the door room is wide enough. Why I want to tell you is like, now when you are once into the profession, maybe your school will be undergoing a infrastructure modification. So you are the persons who have to tell that management or the authorities that this time when we think about the modification, if there is a split door which is a narrow one, we have to go for a wider door, because we have to expect the children like that in our classroom, because we are striving for what? Inclusion. Clear? So that is what that. And there is a clear instruction from the government also how the accessible building should be. You as a teacher should read it. The PDF document is available online. You can download it and read. Then you will understand that whether our rooms are accessible or not. Nowadays, each and every institution is going for that. you can even see the government officers which is converted into the accessible format, right? So here, signages. How many type of instructions you can see on that? How many varieties of instructions? Male, female toilet. Yes, that you read. Then, braille form is there. Then, image. So, how many forms? It is appearing in the 3 different forms, right? But the problem is, no, when the people are asked to convert the building into accessible form, people first of all insert these signages. But the signages which is inserted should be on an accessible height also. Clear? So when you keep this signage on the top of the door, will it be accessible? No. Where should be kept? Into the same, maybe after, when you half away from the bottom. So that even a person is in the wheelchair, should be able to touch and feel and see that what is it about. Clear? So where should be kept also is important. So it is not single, that is the accessible signages. So now we can view a few.
Grammarly's 5 tips for writing a professional email.
Email writing is super important. That's why I'm going to break down everything you need.
You tell me when you're ready.
For PE teacher, Coach Kathy Howa.
Okay, one more then rat.
The goal is to get kids excited about staying active. For PE teacher, Coach Kathy Howa.
Okay, one more then rat.
The goal is to get kids excited about staying active.
Good job, buddy.
She believes what keeps her students moving.
It's important to have enough resources and enough balls to play because you don't want kids sitting around. You want everybody active at all times.
And even though the class is equipped with basically everything they need, Coach Howa says it's actually her latest noisy purchase that's making all the difference this semester.
A ball with a bell inside, a backboard with a beeper, all for a student without sight.
Here? Coach Howa usually push me, tell me to keep going.
Meet Connor Green.
Basketball, sometimes I think I'm not good at it and not good at dribble.
But in the last 3 months after his teacher purchased this equipment out of her own pocket, Connor has made basket after basket.
Good shot, dude! He was able to learn how to dribble. Then he was able to learn how to shoot just by getting a sound on the backboard.
Help me to listen and find a way to shoot, yeah.
Coach Howa says the transformation has been amazing to watch.
He's open down there.
I don't even look at it as a disability because he wants to try everything. Connor, you got this, buddy!
Something Connor is grateful for. Helping him disprove the myth that you need to see the ball to make the shot.
I want to just try to do it and show them I can do this. Just have to be a different way.
Ashley Moser, KSL 5 News.
ഒരു 5 മിനിറ്റ്. So, what you have observed here? Could you tell that next time there are children who are having the difficulties and challenges, you be here in the classroom, we will play some other games and the others go out and enjoy the basketball, football, etc. Is it possible? No, there are possibility of including them also. And there is one more version of that game, that is I have shown in that the other picture, that is here. Here in this one you can see that lady is carrying a rod. So with that rod they will make the sound, and with that sound they can track where is the basket is, and they can throw the ball. So they will, that sound and the throwing the ball, that time is calculated, and how much the frequency it is, they are calculated with that. Okay, so that is how it is played. The next one is the chess game. In India, we have the Visually Challenged Chess Game Association. So that chess game, you can browse online, the videos are available. In that chess game, the chess pieces have a small leg. So when you insert that leg into that hole, that piece is correctly placed. It won't move. And the white and the black is designated by, some are raised columns, the other ones are not raised. And the entire chessboard have 4 rubber legs. So it won't move. It will be correctly placed on the table. Okay? And we have the chess game association and the students are participating in that. We have the Paralympic Olympics which is conducted, where the children, such type of children are participating. So we are the teachers who are really meant for understanding what is the ability of the child and make them capable enough to master different skills. The technology is available. Devices are available. Now it is your question. It is your challenge. So, what are the importance or why we have to use the assistive technology? Surely it will give you independence. That is, the child, when they do it themselves, they feel more confidence. When something is done for us by somebody else, we feel like we need assistance, right? But if we do it by ourselves, surely. So, increased independence, it is provided through the use of assistive technology. Better communication, increased accessibility and interesting. When you play the Simon game, surely the child is interested, right? Then, increased self-esteem and the essence of self-worthiness. I feel like I am worthy enough because I am doing something, right? So, these are the importance and benefits of using the assistive technology. But when you use the assistive technology for your classroom, which all things has to be kept in mind. One thing, what is the nature and level of disability of the learner which you handle? That has to be kept in mind. Then, what is the content? What type of content I am dealing with? Whether it is a science content, whether it is something different, etc. Then, duration of teaching. How much duration I have? Accordingly. Available list of assistive technology. All the assistive technology devices which I have introduced to you may not be possible to be affordable in the classroom. But at the same time, there will be certain things which you can afford, which you can use. Find it out. and use it for your classroom. Then circumstances. The last one is financial support. To purchase all this, it is required. Here, I just want to point out the conclusion or the summary of a study which is conducted by WHO. What WHO has pointed out is those persons who need the technology aid, only 5 to 15% of them are made possible to use it. What is the reason for that? They pointed out two reasons. One is expense for purchasing the technology. Second one is lack of awareness. For expense meeting the expense, you can find out one way or the other way out. You can approach the NGOs, you can approach the PTA of the school, or you can use fundraising programs. But lack of awareness. So we are here to make you understand about the importance and the technologies which are possible for your children to be better learning and making more able. So I have made you aware. Now it is your turn to take that awareness to the next level. Okay? So take it to the other generations and your own in and around, which help you to have a better way. Understood? Yes. So I'm coming to the conclusion of the entire session by using the quote of recently the noted speech by our own UGC chairman. What he pointed out is, nowadays the teachers are not the content consumers. Who are they? They are the content creators. Clear? So we have the responsibility to identify, to create and use the same in your classroom. Not use someone else or not use something which is ready-made, which is possible for you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We have come to the end of the session now. Now, let me invite Ms. Tara Poli to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to all. On behalf of St. Joseph Training College, Pavarti, I extend sincere gratitude to Dr. Hani Babu for your insightful presentation on redefining abilities, the power of assistive technology for better accessibility and inclusion. Thank you, ma'am, for dedicating your time and knowledge. A special thanks to the organizing committee and the volunteers for making this technical section a success. Lastly, I want to thank each of you for your time and dedication. We look forward to more such enriching sections in the future. Thank you all. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Tara. Now we will be having lunch break from 1 p.m. to 1:30. After that, we'll have valedictory function at the auditorium. So please assemble at the auditorium by 1:30 p.m. Thank you.